So you want to make sure that your Disney trip is a success and that you don't miss anything on your next trip. Well, I've been to the parks many times, and here are the most important things that I think you have to do on every trip to make sure you have a magical vacation. Let's get into them in three, two, one.
To all those that come to this happy place, welcome.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Happy Place Studios. As usual, we're always happy to have you. For your discretion, please look at the description. I have all the chapter links there. That way you don't waste any of your time and you get to the information that you need to know. To kick this video off, we're going to start where every vacation starts, and that's going to be at your resort. Your resort stay will arguably be the most expensive part of your entire trip, which is crazy to think about because you're actually going to spend the least amount of time there. So how do we make sure you get the most bang for your buck out of your resort? Well, here are a few things that we can get into. Number one, doesn't matter how long your vacation stay is, please plan to have at least one rest day to take advantage of the amenities that are welcomed at your resort. Depending on the tier hotel that you stay at, meaning how expensive the resort stay actually is, there will be different amenities that you can take advantage of. One, though, most kids will always enjoy and most resorts offer are movie nights out by the pool, where kids can take advantage of watching a Disney or a Pixar film out in front, where even the family can take part as a whole, or just let your kids kind of chill out and relax while you maybe go sit by the side of the pool and actually have an adult conversation for once. Number two is I would take advantage of the resort dining. Here's the trick. It doesn't have to be at your hotel. So, say if you're staying at a value resort and they don't really have any type of restaurant there, you can resort hop to a different resort. This also gives you the chance to visit somewhere new for each and every trip that you go on. You don't have to stay at this resort, but if you're staying on property or if you're just a Disney guest, you can take Disney transportation to a different hotel, take advantage of their amenities, or at least get to see the restaurants or the theming of those hotels, because trust me, most of them are magnificent. I would also put it up there that the restaurants that are at the resorts are typically better than most of the restaurants that you're going to find inside the Disney parks. They may compete very close with the restaurants that are located around Epcot World Showcase, but for the most part, everywhere else, the Disney resort restaurants are phenomenal. So please take advantage of those. One other thing that you can do while you're at your resort is plan for a morning wake up call. If you're a heavy sleeper or you just want to kind of create something magical for your kids, you can have Mickey Mouse call and wake you up every morning. It's pretty easy. All you have to do is call through the phone inside of your resort room, plan a morning wake up call, and sure enough, the time that you request, Mickey Mouse will give you a call. You can answer it, put it on speaker, and Mickey Mouse will actually wake you up in the morning. It's pretty awesome. It's a great thing for kids, and it kind of just sets the experience up even further to have a magical, magical time while you're on your vacation. All right, let's transfer over to where most of you guys are actually going to be wanting, and let's get into the nitty-gritty details to have a successful trip while at the parks. If you've never been to the Disney parks, or it's just been a while since you've been to the Disney parks, take advantage of Disney transportation, please. Even the transportation is like a ride all in themselves, and you don't necessarily even have to pay to get on them, or like, oh, I need to go to the park. Take advantage of specifically the monorail and the Skyliner transportations that you can get to and from either resorts or to other parks. These of themselves are, again, basically rides, and you get to see some crazy views that you just wouldn't get anywhere else in the world. So on your way to the park, take advantage of the first ride that you'll possibly even get on, and that is the monorail and the Skyliner. Number two, take advantage of how old the park is. The park has been around, if you're going to Disney World, for over 50 years now. What I would say is plan to ride one OG ride and one new ride no matter what. So if like I'm going to the park, I'm going to go take advantage. If it was me, I'm going to go ride maybe either like a Big Thunder or a Jungle Cruise, and then I'm going to go ride something brand new, maybe like a Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or maybe over at Tron in Tomorrowland. What this gives you the chance to see is history unravel itself. You'll get to see where the Disney company kind of started and where they're headed today with innovation for future projects. And it's kind of the coolest way to learn about history, where you actually get to take part in it by riding rides. I wouldn't complain about that history lesson any day of the week. Number three, when it comes to riding rides, you might want to learn how the pros ride these rides. And I know that kind of sounds weird because you're just like, it's a ride. What does that mean? Well, certain rides have a competitive level to them, such as like Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin or maybe Toy Story Mania in Hollywood Studios. There are tricks of the trade to make sure that you get the highest score that you could possibly get, and then you kind of get to rub it in your friends and family's face for the rest of the trip. So take advantage and go learn how those rides actually work on a regular basis, where I know the kind of like the tricks to make sure I get higher points. Not only do they have competitive rides, but just taking advantage of placement in certain ride vehicles. So maybe you want to sit at the front or the back end of one of the rides, or how do you get into certain situations where you get to take advantage of ride placement to get the best view? Now let's transition just into the parks themselves. The Disney parks are massive. No matter where you go in the world, they are huge. So here are some things to make sure that you get the most bang for your buck out of the parks. Number one, starting off relatively easy, is take a picture with both a cast member, meaning like a character, or possibly a cast member if you really want to, and the main point of view at each park. So think of Disney's Magic Kingdom, you have Cinderella's Castle. In Animal Kingdom, you have the Tree of Life, and then so on, moving into Hollywood Studios and Epcot as well. Just have somebody take a picture with your phone so you always have the memory of being at the park or with characters or like. The next one I threw in for the parks was kind of just an extra that I would say maybe once in your life you need to do this, and that is take a tour of one of the Disney parks. The basic one I would always tell people to do is the Keys to the Kingdom tour in Disney's Magic Kingdom. This tour allows you to go backstage, go into the utilidors, have a lunch, and even skip a few lines, all while learning Disney history. Number two for the parks is go see a show. There are shows in pretty much every park, and it might seem boring, but when you're in the dead heat or you've been walking all day, these shows not only are entertaining and probably will give you a laugh, will at least provide a cool environment that you can cool off and rest your feet for a while. Shows in Disney's Magic Kingdom, such as Carousel of Progress or going to see the presidents at the President's Hall, those shows typically last between 10 and maybe 20 minutes and allows you to get out the heat for an extended period of time. Transitioning over to Animal Kingdom, you can go see Finding Nemo and Epcot. There are shows in probably most of the world showcases. And then in Hollywood Studios, you can watch Indiana Jones, Fantasmic, and Beauty and the Beast. Variety of options, all allowing you to typically get out the sun or at least the heat for a little while. Number four is plan for the season that you're in, and not specifically just to maybe like summer or fall, but it's peak or off seasons. These seasons are going to be dedicated to how many people are at the park based on the time of year. So if you know that you're going in summer where school's out, it's going to be busy, but it's also going to be really hot. So you're planning not only for the people, but you're also planning for the temperature. Also looking into holidays, maybe run Disney events, Festival of the Arts, and cheerleading events. These festivals or events can take a lot of time to produce, and it draws a lot of attention to the parks. So understanding specifically what's going on during the time of year can dedicate or dictate how many people are going to be at the park with you. So if you're not someone who likes crowds, please make sure you plan your vacation around non-busy seasons for Disney. Number five is go see the animals. And this is specific to basically Animal Kingdom and Epcot, which is kind of weird to say, but I guess fish aren't animals, or are they? Either way, take advantage of the second biggest zoo in the US, and that's Disney's Animal Kingdom. There are animals everywhere. You can either go on trails or you can even go get on a ride and get to see phenomenal animals that you might not catch anywhere else in the world. Also in Epcot, we have the Seas with Nemo and Friends. It's the second biggest aquarium in the US, just based on pure size. And again, you'll get to find and see some sea creatures that you will just never find anywhere else in the world. It's pretty amazing. If you're an adult, you get to take advantage kind of in this next part, and that is drink or eat around the world. Kids will probably get burnt out on this, but if you have the time, or parents, if you're just walking through the different worlds, take advantage of the culture changes. You'll get to try drinks from all over the world, literally, and then you'll also get to try sample foods that typically you're just not going to find anywhere else unless you were actually going to that country. And most of the time, it's pretty spot on with how accurate this food and drink actually is. So take advantage of it. Just be careful because there's a lot. And plan to have a full belly by the end of the day when it comes to Epcot. Number 5 is eat something Mickey shaped. This is kind of for the entire family. Now, you have anything basically under the sun when it comes to Disney that's Mickey shaped. You have cookies, you have pretzels, you have ice cream bars, you have cake pops. There are so many things, and even waffles. Like the waffles are probably the most iconic thing that's out there for Disney parks. But please take advantage and go eat something Mickey shaped. I promise you, just because it's Mickey shaped, it's going to taste way better, not only to you, but to everyone. I promise. And here's the last thing for the parks. What I would recommend at least one day, if not every day, if it's your first trip, rope drop to fireworks. What this does, it sets you up for having the most time at the park to take advantage and see and do the most things. Not only when it comes to rides, but when it comes to either taking your time, getting through, doing multiple shows, having breaks, rope dropping to fireworks gives you the most time in your day to take advantage of the full experience of Disney. Now, if you've been before, you've been several times, you might not do this anymore, or you might just skip out on the fireworks to go ride more rides. But I would tell it for every single person that's either been a while or they have never been, rope drop to fireworks, especially on your bigger, busier parks such as Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. Last but not least is buying your souvenirs. Everyone's going to buy something. Here are some tips to take advantage of when buying your souvenirs. Chances are, don't buy something the very first time you see it. You're going to find it somewhere else at a different store, or maybe you might find something similar that's a better option that might fit you better. So when it comes to buying shirts, or when it comes to buying ears, or when it comes to buying maybe a pin, make sure you plan out when you're going to be buying these and don't buy them right away. Especially not as soon as you arrive to the park. Meaning that if you see something as you're walking in the door, please don't buy it right then and there. 9 times out of 10, it will still be there toward the end of the night, or at midday if you plan on going back to your hotel room. You can buy it on your way out of the park and then head back to the park whenever you have the time. Also, when it comes to souvenirs, I would also say take advantage of the free and cheap. Meaning, if it's been a long time, you're taking advantage of a birthday, or you've never been, go and get the free pins that is offered by Disney. Celebrating your first trip, celebrating your birthday, celebrating an anniversary. These pins are completely free, and they're also customized specifically to you. When I say free, also you can go get things like a penny press that's going to have a stamp of a character in it that only costs $1 or $2. So take advantage of not having to spend too much money all the while getting a souvenir that will last a lifetime. Well, guys, did I miss anything? Is there things that you normally do on your Disney trips that maybe I skipped over and I should probably put on this list? Otherwise, go watch the next video. And guys, go out, be you, be great, and I'll catch you in the next one.